Hindi dub for many South Indian blockbusters has been announced to release directly in theatres. Telugu cinema coming to destroy Bollywood. A big tamacha from Allu Arjun to Bollywood. All these headlines are making big news, but I feel we should not jump to conclusions yet. We should be practical about it and analyze it. So let's do that. Hello guys, I'm Nona Prince. If you're new to the channel, I discover a lot of South Indian films. You can check out my movie reviews as well as what's happening in the industry just like this. So if you are interested in that, do subscribe to the channel. Now Allu Arjun's big blockbuster from 2020, Vaikunthapurramuloo, is releasing on 26 January in Hindi dub for the Hindi markets after the humongous success of Pushpa in Hindi. Now personally, I'm not really sure about this step. Talking about the film first, I was not a big fan. I felt it was a very average film. The pitch and the narrative of that film is very different than Pushpa, and I don't know how well it will translate for the Hindi audience. So I have my doubts. But it may work also, who knows. Now even Sukumar's previous blockbuster Rangasthalam is in talks to being dubbed in Hindi and released. There's a high chance for it, but I think they will wait and see how ALVP does. Now I am someone who always believed that this should have been happening for a lot of films from each industry. Because most films are universal and just dubbing them will be enough for the Hindi audience to understand it. I just want to point out that every film can be dubbed and work because of different sensibilities also within the film, which works for certain type of audience but not for everyone. I can actually make a list of films from each industry that should be dubbed. If you want to know that, let me know. But until now, why was this not happening already? First, it was not a good investment for the producers. Previously, they would find challenges from other Hindi films to even get few screens in North Indian circuit. Unless there's a big hero and it's a big budget film, doing marketing and getting more screens makes sense. But if that's not the case, it's just too difficult. And selling the Hindi remake rights is much simpler option. Now we all know a lot of South Indian films are dubbed in Hindi for TV as well as for YouTube, and they get millions and millions of views. But that is done with very less budget, and you can notice that in the dubbing quality also. And everyone involved are satisfied with that because it works. Now what Allu Arjun and the producers did, which Allu Arjun even mentioned in a video, they saw how much views his dubbed film was getting on YouTube as well as TV, and they wondered if those views can translate to ticket sales. And it did. And why is that? At this point, Bollywood is on a back foot. We all can agree to that. In December, theatres were open but working at 50% occupancy. There was still some uncertainty going on. And on 17th, Pushpa released with Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man audience is mostly youngsters. But what about people who don't watch Marvel films or don't follow them? They need some other film to watch. And they had Pushpa. Very few shows, but they still had that. And when next week 83 released, but because of limited shows in 8 centers and Delhi closing down theaters, it was not performing well. And even if someone wanted to go for 83, they wouldn't find good tickets because the 50% occupancy seats will be full. So other option for them was Pushpa. So Pushpa basically became the second best movie to watch. And when people saw that, they enjoyed it, word of mouth began, and the film did most well in the heartlands of India. That's where it did the most business. So now looking at that success, it makes sense that why more South Indian films are being dubbed in Hindi to be released. Because it's a good bet now. See, there's a big void in Hindi markets. That's because of COVID. Only big budget films were released in theaters. And because many theaters are closed, 50% occupancy, there's so much uncertainty, those big films will not release now. They'll wait. So there's a big opening to release those movies in Hindi now because there is demand but no supply. And this is the best time to experiment. Because if now it works, it will go long way. And why is that? Because if they work now, they'll build a trust with the audience. They'll build a brand value. And when later, if they release their films against big Hindi films, they will have a good chance. They can take on that challenge, which they couldn't some time back. This is the time to play. Telugu cinema is doing it. I hope Tamil cinema also looks at it and thinks about it, at least for their big budget hero films. Kannada cinema already did with KGF. They can re-release it. GGVV can come out with a Hindi dub. Malayalam cinema already made its name through OTT. We are living in a very exciting time and I cannot wait what happens next. Through channel membership, you can support this channel and help me continue this journey ahead. And in turn, you get various perks. To know more, click on the join button. For more information, check out the community page. So guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button, share this video in the comments your thoughts. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out the videos if you like them too. Do keep subscribing and I'll see you next time.